once you're in, how to be effective. I noticed I was listening to some of your podcasts. They're really great. And one was with, I think it's Elise Archer. And I think the title or one of the themes was your income level will never exceed your self-worth. Any thoughts on that statement and that topic?
Well, I think it's really hard for most people to comprehend what it's like initially to make a 6-figure income. And then I think when people get at the 6-figure mark, it becomes incomprehensible to think about hitting the 7-figure mark.
Yeah. It's
just not something that most people have experience with, right? And so you limit yourself by thinking, wow, I've done good. I've hit this ceiling. This is my maximum potential. Well, you're not going to be able to get beyond that if you think like that, right? If you're not always looking for different angles, different streams of income, different career path, improving upon your skills and so forth. And that was kind of the theme of that episode, I mean, I can remember being in college and thinking to myself, if I get a job that pays me 50, 60 grand a year for the rest of my life, like, that's fantastic. I'd be stoked on that. Had no comprehension that there was ever going to be anything more than that out there for me. And then I can remember being a VP of sales and making 250, 300K and thinking, I have reached the pinnacle. Mm-hmm. There's no way that I'll ever do any better than this, right? And having to break down those barriers and those limiting beliefs takes a lot of work. It takes work. You got to talk to other people. You got to be willing to, admit some hard truths to yourself. You've got to change some behaviors and habits potentially. You got to change where you put your time and where you put your focus. It requires you, like I said before, to keep learning, keep growing, keep trying new things. It requires you to be brave and courageous and take some risks, right? And the people that have made it to these places, I have often found so far in my life that they're not all that smarter than me.
Yeah.
They don't work all that much harder than me.
Huh.
They just blindly trust themselves. They're willing to take big swings and chances. They're not worried about the consequences, but they see things a little clearer. They decide things a little faster, right? And they're around other people who also move and operate that way, right? And so, on some level, maybe our parents were right when they told us, like, you got to be careful who you're hanging out with there, son, right? You become who you hang out with. It's pretty true, actually. You hang out with if your 5 closest friends are all people who've started from nothing and are all now doing $1 million a year, don't you think you'd learn something by hanging out with them? Something different than you learn by your 5 friends who all work at the gas station still? I think so.
And that's like welcome to my TED Talk. I got to break that into a mini clip after this. It's amazing. Who we surround ourselves with is really important. And